up in a car wash, gentlemen.
Rob Kibbe.
Don't tell me. You're from outer space.
No, I'm from Iowa. I only work in outer space.
Mike Finnegan.
Go that way, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
Two guys talking cars.
I am a semi-professional race car driver and an amateur tattoo artist.
Taking on the most serious topics.
But we will give nothing back to the academic community, as well as provide no public service of any kind. This much I promise you.
And the Dukes of Hazzard. On iTunes, Stitcher, and whatever else it is you listen on. The Kibbe and Finnegan Show.
Kibbe and Finnegan Show, episode number 92. Available in all the normal places, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Google. None of it matters. It's all good places to get shows. Mike, happy Thanksgiving.
You too, man.
This is Thanksgiving week.
I'm actually going to be home for Thanksgiving week. It's kind of nice.
What do the Finnegans do for Thanksgiving?
I'm having deja vu. Have we had that conversation before? Or was it Christmas?
Oh, yes, we have. Your brother makes a turkey that's ready by 10 a.m. Yes, that's what it was.
Excellent memory. Yeah. That was last year. He actually said the other day, because I believe my mom is hosting Thanksgiving this year, so that we avoid the 10 a.m. turkey. And my brother was like, hey, can I have a chance at redemption? Like, go ahead, Mom, make your turkey. But I'd like to try the turkey and the green egg again and see if I can slow my roll. And I think we all said yes, Brian. Go ahead. Give it another shot.
Uh-huh.
It's like Charlie Brown trying to kick the football, I think, for him.
Is he a big foodie? Is that...
Oh, yeah. And he's actually a good cook. You know, that was the first time he ever tried to make a turkey not in the oven. And he used his big green egg, what it is, a smoker or whatever it is. I don't have one. But normally, man, he makes a beer can chicken that is out of this world. Like the most moist chicken I've ever had in my life. And that thing.
Moist.
I don't know if that's the correct phrasing.
We're going to do something different this year. We are going to go volunteer at the soup kitchen for a little while,
nice.
Which I'm looking forward to doing. Last year we made pies for it. Yeah. We do not need to sit down to another meal that my wife slaves over that my kids won't eat. So that's how it was explained to me. So I love sitting around eating food and watching football all day, but I'm all on board with that. So everybody got to pick one thing we want. And then either my sister-in-law or my daughter is going to make it. So, you get one vote. So, my son chose mac and cheese. I chose French silk pie. That's the one thing that I do want for Thanksgiving. Nobody chose turkey, which I am a little disappointed in, even though I don't actually want the turkey.
I have a theory about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorite holidays. But I love it because in my house, we have Friendsgiving the night before, which is just a party. The whole neighborhood comes over and we just drink and have appetizers. But on Thanksgiving, invariably, no matter where I've been and whose table I've sat at, the turkey's dry, man. It's never like I love a turkey sandwich. I love going to the grocery store and buying sliced turkey or getting turkey out of a package, and it's always moist, probably because there's water in it, but it's good. I've never had a Thanksgiving turkey where I'm like, yeah, man, this is amazing. It's always dry. No matter who's cooking it or what stuffing is shoved up its bowl, that's dry. And so consequently, I'm just not a Thanksgiving turkey guy. You know, if you had to put gravy on it to soften it up, you probably don't. You know, it's probably not great.
So here's my one weakness with gravy. I drink gravy. I love it.
I inject it into my veins.
I freaking love. I remember my older sister chopping up turkey and putting it in gravy. And then I finally got that mixed up on my plate. And then I finally realized the next year, I don't need to use any utensils. Just put it in a cup. Goop. Turkey dinner.
Do you really drink gravy right now as an adult?
I will at Thanksgiving. Sure.
I think some people would pay money to see that. Who wants to see Kibbe just chug a gallon of gravy?
Send in your donations. I would love to do that. I have a new game for you.
All right.
A Thanksgiving edition game. I found a website that we are going to use as a reference. And it's a quiz. I don't know how this will turn out either, so hopefully it's funny.
I love these games, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. This is called Which Uncomfortable Family Member at Thanksgiving Are You? So you're going to play this game.
Okay.
I've not played it, so here we go. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Here are 4 options. Turkey. Nothing beats the main attraction. I don't have a favorite. I love it all. Creamy mashed potatoes or stuffing. Yum.
Stuffing.
Stuffing, yum. Okay, so that moves us on to this next question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how involved are you in the Thanksgiving meal preparations? I can't even heat up the leftovers in the microwave properly. There's no place for me in the kitchen. I generally like to sit back and watch. I'm extremely controlling. Everything needs to be perfect. Just call me Sergeant Chef Bossy Pants, or I'm often the leader of the ordeal. I'll help except when I need it.
Number 2, I like to just lay back in the cut and drink while the shenanigans happen in the kitchen.
Sit back and watch. Okay. How would you rank your conversation skills? What's a conversation? I love talking. I depend on the other person to keep the ball rolling, or else it just gets awkward. Or the greatest conversationalist there ever was.
Oh, definitely number 4.
I agree with all your choices about you thus far.
You get a couple cocktails in me, and dude, I'll tell you everything.
Pick a Thanksgiving outfit. Number 1, my finest ball gown or tux. Number 2, t-shirt and jeans. Number 3, a cozy sweater and nice pants. Number 4, sweats that I've been wearing for a few days.
I'm actually at number 4 right now. Okay. But t-shirt and jeans. And jeans for me is dressing up. Like the fact that I'm wearing pants. Yeah, if you catch me in pantalones, that's my going outfit.
I'm not sure I've ever seen you wear slacks or anything like that.
I think I own 2 pair of them. And both were purchased for specific occasions, and I haven't worn them since.
More of a Dickies man. Here's the next question. I'm going to answer this for you. Do you have a good memory? I can't remember what I did yesterday. I suppose it's mediocre. Can you repeat the question, or you could say it's photographic? There are 3 good choices in here. I'm going to go with I can't remember what I did yesterday.
I was going to go with, can you repeat the question?
Good enough. We'll take that one. What's your go-to topic of conversation? I just talk about what everyone else is talking about. Pop culture, politics, and the current state of global affairs, or how much I hate UC Berkeley.
Foosball isn't on there? Man.
I don't know. Pop culture?
Sure.
Okay. Here are the results. You are the weird uncle. You act just like you act like you possess several skills like cooking or cracking well-crafted jokes, but the truth is you're just strange. You often can't remember other families' members' names or ages or how you're related to them. You try to act young and get in on the fun, but the younger kids aren't willing to let you in on their jokes, which are usually about you.
Oh, call me old now. Man, I thought not growing up and I could never be old.
This is a Californian blog. It's called the Daily Clog. So everybody just go to dailycal.org if you too would like to take the Which Crazy Family Member Are You game. And that was not just one. I have 2 Thanksgiving games for you. This next one requires beer. Do you have a beer available to you?
Let's see. Yes, I do. I'll have you note I have resisted the urge to drink my White Christmas Sam Adams that I have had since last Christmas.
Oh.
Because it's not out yet. Or at least when we recorded this, it wasn't out yet. I've been stockpiling this stuff. It's that good.
This is a Shiner Cheer, which is my favorite of all Christmas beers. And this is brand new. I bought as soon as my buddy texted me that they were out in the store. I went out and got a case right away.
I'll have to try that because in my opinion, Samuel Adams White Christmas tastes like the holidays.
Me too. This one has got like a little bit of berry in it, which I guess I always think of as like holly or something.
Like there's this one beer called Pumpkin that I misjudged the first time I had it. I actually reprimanded my wife's cousin. I was like, this is horrible. And then I gave it another shot and I went, no, this tastes like Thanksgiving or even Halloween, but pumpkin is great in, small quantities. You don't want to drink.
Did it say pumpkin or is it like pump?
Pumpkin, yeah. It's got an orange label. It looks like it's made of pumpkins.
Okay. So I have pulled together 3 Thanksgiving movie references, and for each one, we're going to do a different drinking game. Okay. And the first one is from Grumpier Old Men. This is the sequel, and it actually isn't Thanksgiving, but the first one was, and it started on Thanksgiving. So this is from Grumpy Old Men. Whenever you hear the word bacon, take a drink. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Let me tell you something now, Johnny. Last Thursday, I turned 95 years old.
Yeah.
And I never exercised a day of my life. Huh. Every morning, I wake up and I smoke a cigarette. And then I eat 5 strips of bacon. And for lunch, I eat a bacon sandwich. And for a midday snack,
Bacon.
a whole damn plate. And I usually drink my dinner.
Okay. That was good. I meant to count, but I can't.
That was half the bottle, dude.
I brought in 2 beers just in case this might happen. So
I may be running back downstairs to the fridge.
Word to the wise for the last clip. You're going to need more.
Okay.
Here's the next one. This is from a Johnny Carson episode where Doc Severinsen was the guest. Did you ever watch Johnny Carson? Did your parents watch that?
No, I'm not that old.
Johnny Carson was my dad's late night guy, but I just remembered this one funny clip with Doc Severinsen on it. So here's the deal. Whenever the audience laughs, you got to take a drink. Okay?
Okay.
Come over there. Would you like to come to the house? And
This is the first time you've ever asked me.
Well, you made me feel so guilty.
I mean, when you ask an employee in front of 15 million people, do you want to come to the house for Thanksgiving dinner? What am I going to say? No. You know what I say? I say, yes, Mr. Carson, I love it.
Can you come?
No.
How much you got left?
I got an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the next show drunk.
Okay.
Let's get plastered before we even turn on the recorder. And then let's just see what happens.
Fine. I'm all in for that. Here's the last one. This should kill it. Every time you hear the F-bomb, which has been pre-bleeped, take a drink. Okay, you ready?
Welcome to Marathon. May I help you?
Yes.
How may I help you?
You can start by wiping that f***ing dumbass smile off your rosy f***ing cheeks. Then you can give me a f***ing automobile, a f***ing Datsun, a f***ing Toyota, a f***ing Mustang, a f***ing Buick, 4 f***ing wheels and a seat.
I really don't care for the way you're speaking to me.
And I really don't care for the way your company left me in the middle of f***ing nowhere with f***ing keys to a f***ing car that isn't f***ing there. And I really didn't care to f***ing walk down a f***ing highway and across a f***ing runway to get back here to have you smile at my f***ing face. I want a f***ing car right now.
Oh, why didn't I pick a light here?
So hard.
May I see your rental agreement?
I threw it away.
Boy.
Oh boy, what?
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, you too. It's a perfect holiday movie.
Did beer come out of your nose?
Yes. That's very filling.
Oh, that's more of a Bud Light game, not a Sam Adams game.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Excuse me.
Whew, that was good. What holiday movies will you guys watch on Thanksgiving, or do you not do that? Because that's the time for us when it kicks on. Like Thanksgiving night, my Christmas lights outside are going to be guns blazing.
Our holiday season of movie watching really kicks off like when we buy the Christmas tree, usually the day after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving Day is just packed. There really isn't time to sit down and watch a Christmas movie or even a Thanksgiving movie. But we typically begin the holiday season. My wife's favorite movie is Home for the Holidays. She loves that movie.
Oh, what get kids from Home Improvement's in it?
No. This is a melancholy holiday movie. It's got it's Holly Hunter and dude from Iron Man.
Tony Stark,
that guy.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s in it.
Yes.
It's a really just dark, funny movie. So she likes that. And then I like to kick things off with Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe little Peanuts,
Yeah, I like Peanuts.
Some White Christmas. Down with that one.
You ever see The Ref?
Yeah, The Ref's funny.
I've only seen that once. That's
Dennis Leary?
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's a good movie. One. Scrooge is great.
Yep.
You ever notice in Scrooge, at the very end, they sing that song, Put a Little Love in Your Heart, except, in the movie, the cast is singing it, and it's really good. I can't find that anywhere. I've Googled it. I can't find that version of the song.
Which one?
And it's hard.
Put a Little Love in Your Heart?
Yeah.
Is Bill Murray singing?
Bill Murray's singing it, like straight up loud singer style. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And in Christmas Vacation, the opening title sequence, that song, Hip Hip Hooray for Christmas Vacation, dude, that's hard to find. And I love that song.
That one?
That one, yeah. It's sung by a woman named Mavis Staples, I think. And the only reason I know that is on the Holiday Channel on XM Radio, they played it the other day. I was like, holy crap, that's the Christmas Vacation song. And I Googled and tried to find it and couldn't find it.
Channel 70. Yes, we just found that last night. For some reason, my old truck still has satellite radio in it. I found it 2 days ago, just trying to find something. And then my dad's Lexus has it. We're on holiday music alert right now.
I don't know if I have Sirius or XM, but Channel 3 is like traditional old school holiday music. And then Channel 4 is like newer. And there could be more. I don't know. You'd have to scroll through the 200 channels they got, but 3 and 4, they got it.
I thought they were the same thing. I didn't know Sirius and XM were different.
Well, they merged, I think. I don't know if all the channels are the same or what.
No. So I did something today. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I went looking for shop space for myself.
Ooh, you need that in your life.
What did you pay for rent in California for your shop?
The last shop was in the hood of Santa Ana.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Avenue, right by the railroad tracks. I split it with my buddy Jeff, and I think we had 800 square feet, and we paid like $1,150 or $1,200 a month, something like that.
Total or each?
Total, which was a good deal in, Orange County, California. I've paid upwards of $2 a square foot, depending on where I was at.
This is 1,600 square feet. It's got heat, which is important. Has water. Yeah. It has a floor drain. It has a bathroom of sorts. It's just like a john with some cinder block around it. And it's $925.
Dude, that's cheap. That's like 50 cents a square foot. It's less than that.
It is cheap.
What's funny is not my last shop in Orange County, but the one before that was a little tiny thing. Didn't have an office. It was 450 square feet. It was enough for my drag boat and tools, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at the end of a cul-de-sac in the city of Orange. And they looked like storage units more than shops. None of them had offices, really. And a bunch of us rented them out. And there was a community bathroom in the cul-de-sac. It was just a brick shit house, basically. We were in the cul-de-sac. And at the beginning of the cul-de-sac, at the intersection, was a bar. And it was a bar frequented by Hispanic people. And then us, because we were we were cool. We were part of the neighborhood. Well, late at night, I'd have to shut the door of my shop, whether I wanted to or not, because invariably every night a gang fight would spill out of this bar into the street. And occasionally there was a freaking shootout, dude. And so I knew that anything past midnight, if I was there, the door needed to stay shut. And if I had to poop, I better go in a bucket in my shop and not go outside and use the community bathroom. So that's the kind of neighborhoods my shops were in.
Did you poop in a bucket?
Oh yeah, dude, more than once. I had to go, and I wasn't willing to go out to the community.
Crap so bad.
Yeah, I wasn't willing to go into the community outhouse that had no light in it. When I knew that any minute now, the patrons of the bar were going to spill out in the street, and who knows what was going to happen. So yeah, a hefty bag inside of a bucket, you got yourself a toilet.
There you go. That's a shirt. Hefty bag inside.
I need a Home Depot bucket and a hefty bag. You're dialed.
Have you seen the toilet seat thing that hooks onto a bumper hitch?
The bumper dumper?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wrote a new product release about the bumper dumper in Off-Road Magazine in 2003.
Really?
Yeah, it's been around a while.
Was that a big seller? I hope.
I don't know. I think I sold 1 or 2 of them for that company.
The bumper dumper. Do you have your ad copy in front of you for Harry's Razors?
I do. Okay. And it's amazing. I don't even need this. I can tell people. I actually got a Harry's Razor package in the mail today.
Yeah?
Like a holiday gift one. Like a limited edition set. It was dope. Oh, and that's what this is about. The ad copy. Sweet. That worked out good.
The timing is amazing.
Yeah, it literally showed up today. It's perfect.
Hey, Mike. I have news for you. Harry's has joined us once again. And they are all about finding the right holiday gift for a guy. because guys are nearly impossible to shop for. Because you don't need another wallet or more socks or another freaking toolbox. Am I right?
You speak the truth.
I speak the truth. And that's where Harry's comes in. So I have been a Harry's customer since our first ad, the early part of this year. Because they get that smooth, clean shave. And made these long-lasting quality products at super reasonable prices. They're super practical. They use them all the time. I get the blade refills in the mail. My wife can't get enough of kissing my cheeks after I have shaved. And if I don't love it, I get to return them for a quick and hassle-free return. So here's what we got. Here's our special Kibbe and Finnegan show deal. This is a special offer for the fans of the show. Do you have that special offer in front of you?
You damn right, dude.
Fire away. What do you got?
Get your holiday shopping done early. Free shipping ends on December 12th, so act now. Go to harrys.com/KAFS to get $5 off a shave set while supplies last. That's harrys.com/KAFS.
Yes, indeedy, Mike. As a special offer for fans of the Kibbe and Finnegan show, we have partnered with Harry's to give you, the listener, $5 off any shave set, including the limited edition holiday sets when you go to harrys.com/KAFS. Plus, you will get free shipping. This offer is for new and returning customers and is only available for the holidays. Each Harry's shaving set comes with an ergonomic weighted handle with the option to engrave, which would be nice. German-engineered 5-blade cartridges that provide a close, comfortable shave. Foaming shave gel for a rich lather, my favorite stuff. A travel cover to protect your blades. A handsome holiday gift box. Or if you just want something for yourself, redeem a Harry's trial offer to experience the quality of a shave before committing.
Dude, awesome. I gotta say, the packaging, on point. And the shave gel lasts forever. I've had the same can for a year now.
We in my family use Harry's razors for lots of things now. and we buy
a full body groom them, are you?
We buy a lot of shave gel because that's the best shave gel on the market, hands down. Also, I really like the shave balm. That stuff's for real. Legit. So, Mike, I think this is the time to go ahead and get the Dukes of Hazzard review. And prior to doing that, I wanted to show you this. I think I've showed you this before. Can you tell what this is, just looking at it?
It looks like a section of metal with a General Lee paint job on it.
It is indeed. This is from Corn Dog's Screen Used General Lee, which was in the Dukes of Hazzard TV reunion movies, as well as both Hollywood movies, I believe. At least the first one for sure. So this car has been painted orange a few times. This paint on here is, well, it's paint over Bondo over something else. And he had given this to me, so I just have a piece of a real car. But now that I've gotten into scanning colors, well, from what I'm told, this is Big Bad Orange. Nathan Warren, I told you last week, is sending me some spray outs of that Corvette Flame Red.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to compare them to my car. And then I talked to your pal, David Newburn. You went and checked in that orange Corvette that you had. Does he own it now, or is it in his shop? I got a little lost.
No, he doesn't own it. A friend of his bought it from the original owner. Like, the story with that car is my neighbor moved, couldn't take the car with him, so I bought it from him.
Mm-hmm.
My intention was to fix it up, get it running, and give it back to him. And at one point, he finally moved, got to a place where he could take the car. So he took possession of the car again. Dave Newburn had it and sold it to a friend of his on behalf of my neighbor, and Dave Newburn is now getting it running for that friend.
Oh, well, good for him. I talked to David and I said, hey, I'm getting these spray outs. Has that car that you have in your possession, has it been painted? And he said, it has not been painted. I said, no. Awesome, because that's generally orange. That is.
Yeah, it looks a lot like that piece of metal you got right there.
Nathan Warren sent me another picture of a 76 Corvette in the same color as your Corvette there. It's so amazing. It's two different colors, daytime versus nighttime. I mean, you would swear it's two different cars. So I'm really interested in what David's car looks like in the daytime or the nighttime, but he's going to compare the samples I send him. And then we're going to figure out if we need to paint my car or not. And I don't necessarily want to, but if it's way off, I think we will. But this is another paint sample that I'm going to hold up to my car as well, just to see how close it is to, I guess, Big Bad Orange. And all of that is important today because this is a day where we've turned the page with the Dukes of Hazzard.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm.
This is Season 4, Episode 11, Trouble at Cooters, written by Bruce Howard, directed by, I don't know who written or directed by. I didn't update those. But it was November 27th, 1981, when it aired. This is where we get a new General Lee. We're in the second half of the Dukes of Hazzard. From here on out, the General Lees kind of all look the same. Is this an episode you saw? Do you have a summary? If you don't, I do.
Didn't you and I already review this one together? I thought we were doing Goodbye General Lee.
You're right. I didn't update my notes. It is Goodbye General Lee. Sorry about that.
My memory is not as bad as I thought it was.
I was lost in the Thanksgiving games, I guess. I didn't get that part updated.
However, although I've seen Goodbye General Lee, it was weeks ago, and I don't have a review written. I got to lean heavily on you for this.
Okay, this is your basic hypnosis episode.
That's right.
So, as luck would have it, this is not the first time Luke gets brainwashed in this series.
No, it's not.
It will happen again to him later. But on this particular one, how did he get brainwashed in the first place? Okay, the Dukes are in a competition called the Dragonfly. And that is a future Roadkill episode in the making, I'm sure, where it's a drag race that culminates in a jump. That's what it is, right?
That's exactly what it is, except the landing is flat ground.
Yes.
Like quarter panel killing, spine smashing, flat ground.
That's right. Boss Hogg decides that he is going into the sponsorship business, but not to sponsor other people, to have sponsored components of his own. He wants to be the sponsor. So he's launching all of these speed part brands.
Like motor oil and
tires and headers and shocks. He wants to have the winning car of the Hazzard County Dragonfly so that he can make his millions off of that. The only problem is the Duke boys and the General Lee. They're going to win. So he hires 2 ex-NASCAR drivers to compete with them. But first he makes the NASCAR drivers watch them because each Duke boy was born with a silver gas pedal in his mouth. And the General Lee, according to Rosco, is half human. They go on their practice run, and the Duke boys and the General Lee, they fly a million miles. But something breaks on the landing. Luke gets under the car, gets hit by the drive shaft. Bada bing, he's in the hospital. And that is where Boss Hogg brings in his nutty professor to brainwash him into thinking that the General Lee is a pile of crap and he needs to get rid of it. And that's what happens. He does get rid of it.
Yeah, he convinces him that the next time the General Lee lets them down, that's the last straw. And he will do anything, Luke will do anything to get rid of the General Lee and get another car.
And of course, it does break down, but it breaks down because Rosco sabotages it to break down. Like, doesn't he put like sugar in the gas tank, or I don't know what he does. He does something bad, but it breaks down. Yeah. And then the next thing you know, Luke loses his freaking mind, calls the General Lee a terrible car and all that. It upsets Bo very much, upsets the whole Duke family, but they honor him more than the car. He gets rid of the car. Boss Hogg orders Rosco to destroy the car. Cooter saves it. Eventually things get righted and Luke regains his mind, not knowing why. And then at the end they figure out that he got brainwashed after they win the Dragonfly, but just after Luke almost kills himself by trying to save the General Lee, which is loaded with dynamite that he reaches in at the last second, pulls out and throws into a gravel pit, which is pretty awesome. Always defend your car.
Yes. Excellent summary, by the way.
Thanks.
You nailed all the big moments.
This is one of these episodes where I feel bad that I didn't get the details right. Let me just look this up in the DVD set. So this was, episode 11, Goodbye General Lee, written by William Rayner and Miles Wilder, directed by Denver Pyle. Man, sorry, Denver. Original air date December 4th, 1981. So here are some notes that I put in here. So obviously this is the first new look of the General Lee, which is done in-house by Warner Brothers now. Wide push bar, light interior. This is a functional push bar. This one's actually like welded to the K-frame and everything. A consistent vinyl top trim. There's no wheel arch trim. Eventually there'll be no 69 backup lights in it, which are in the rear valence. In this particular episode, they were still in a transitional period, apparently, because I did see backup lights in there. But I also saw that these cars are part of the Values A fleet still. I saw a little red dash tag in one scene that the Values A's did. From what Corndog has been teaching me, the numbers get bigger the further along you get in the Warner Brothers episode. And these numbers are still normal size, so we're still in this kind of no man's land. Some other notes. This is the second episode with the General Lee as a title line character of the show. So the shows all have names, and they're usually kind of dippy names. But the first show that actually has General Lee in the name is from season 2, episode 6. It's called The Ghost of General Lee. There's this episode, Goodbye General Lee. And then season 7, episode 1 is Happy Birthday General Lee. But this is the first episode that I recall where the car is like a plot point character. Like he is the point of the whole show. The whole show wraps around the car. Am I remembering that wrong? Or are there previous episodes where that's the case?
There's been other episodes where Boss's goal has been to take possession or destroy the General Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's been other episodes where, you know, the focus of the episode was a race, you know, involving the General Lee. But yeah, I mean, this was titled, it's in the title. Yeah, that you might be right.
I know in season 7, there's another episode that as a kid I recorded on VHS, and I think I wore the tape out watching. And I remember like it was an old school VCR where you'd push pause. So when you record the show, you'd be paying attention to it. And you push pause for the commercials.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't record those. And it was called Danger on the Hazzard Express. I looked it up, season 7, episode 10. And that's where the General Lee got stolen and it was converted to radio control operation. Does this at all ring a bell to you?
No.
Yeah, this is a good episode.
Ooh.
It's converted to radio control because Boss Hogg wants to rob a train, and the train is loaded with gold. His plan is to have a radio-controlled car loaded with explosive crash into the train as the train's going by. But unfortunately, the Dukes get in the mess and kind of mess up the operation, so Boss Hogg has his bad guys steal the General Lee to crash into the train. And unfortunately for the Dukes, it does get converted into radio control, and it is loaded with explosive, and it does head to the train. Luckily for them, Bo gets in at just the right second, and Luke gets on the controls at just the right second to save the car. That's the only other episode I remember where the whole point of the episode is about the car. So this one, this Goodbye General Lee, I remember seeing this. I remember thinking you could hypnotize anybody. Like, as long as you had a watch and like spooky music.
Yeah, the watch is key.
There's one scene in here that even as an adult makes me tear up. And I'm embarrassed to say it, but I pulled the audio clip. So you know that the General Lee is getting pushed off a cliff in this one. Mm-hmm. It's going to die, but it doesn't because Cooter intervenes.
Yeah.
I forget.
Saves it from going off a cliff.
Yeah. But he almost dies himself trying to save the car.
Yeah.
But he does stop in time, and here's the only clip that I pulled from the episode to play in here.
Boy, right to the edge. Now that's true love between one good old boy and one good old car.
I do like that one. If you see this scene, it will make more sense. The neat thing about it is Ben Jones is shot not on a soundstage. He's in the real truck. And behind him is the real car. I'm sure there's a stunt driver for all the other real scenes, but you see him look forward at what is presumably the cliff, and he genuinely looks scared. So he's doing some really good acting. But when he stops the truck, like he looks up and like thanks God real quick and then gets out and laughs about it. That is one of my favorite scenes of all times, of maybe the whole episode, but that's a really, really good one. So I got all Corn Dog's notes here. You ready for this?
Yeah.
He went ape. More beer, huh? Good deal. As we've mentioned in previous episodes, Goodbye General Lee is the first time we get to see an all-new look for the General Lee. It has always been believed that this is when the Warner Brothers started building the cars in-house. Without knowing an exact date or season when the Values stopped building the cars or Fritz's timeline, it's kind of hard to say for sure. The obvious changes that were done to the car is a wider push bar and a lighter tan interior, which was almost white. The roll bars and padding were left black for a nice contrast against the tan interior. The radio antenna hole, side marker lights, and the backup lights were all smoothed over. All of the cars received vinyl top trim and no wheel opening trim. The cars still use the 21-908A Radio Shack teardrop antenna on the leading edge of the car, obviously. Later on, the teardrop antenna would be moved about 6 inches away from the edge, and the teardrop would go away in favor of the square base Avanti antenna. Sorry. During this episode, they mostly use 68 Chargers. You'll occasionally see a 69 here and there. One thing I noticed about Cooter's tow truck, when it was on location, like Sherwood or Indian Dunes, it was a 67-72 bump side Ford. When they needed a tow truck at the Burbank lot or on a soundstage, it was a 69 to 72 Chevy or GMC. How about that? 5:13 mark. After Bo and Luke jump the General Lee early in the episode, they get out and pop the hood. At a quick glance, this looks like a close-up car, but it isn't. The engine bay on this is a small block, and it's a 68, and it's pretty clean with a fresh coat of black spray paint, chrome air cleaner, and yellow plug wires. 1609 mark. When Cooter tows the General Lee back to the Duke farm and is unloading it, if you look carefully, you can see a little red label in the lower corner driver's side of the windshield, which is the Values A label. Like, you know, the old-fashioned label maker, like that kind. And in the interview I did with the Values A's, Renault had said that they did that as well. 21:20 mark. When Bo and Luke go to Hobie's car lot, they trade the General Lee on a yellow 1973 Plymouth Satellite. After purchasing the car, when they are driving back to the farm, they show an interior shot through the windshield, except it isn't the same car. They showed footage from inside a General Lee with a tan dash. 26-minute mark. On Boss Hogg's racing coveralls, you will see many knockoff sponsor patches all over. On his left sleeve, he has a patch for my favorite tire, or Kibby's favorite tire, it says, the Manhandler. Except this patch says, the Hog Handler. Other sponsors include Hog Alarm Systems, JD's GT Mirrors, JD Shocks, Hog Tread Radials, Hoggo Charge Kit, Hog Mag Wheels, Boss Seats, Hazzard Headers, Detachable Hog Tops, and the like. And he goes on. 27-minute mark. When Rosco tries to send the General Lee off the cliff, this was Indian Dunes. This is the same place that Daisy's Plymouth went off the cliff with many other cars throughout the series. This is also the place that Gary Baxley made the jump, the General Lee jump over Styx River from like season 1. Remember the one? It's in the title shot, the opening credits, the camera, that one. 39:45 mark. After leaving Hobie's, when Bo jumps the Plymouth, stuntman John Cade was actually behind the wheel of this car. John Cade, I have learned, is called Jumpin' John Cade, and he may be the guy that did the craziest jumps, even more than Al Wyatt in General Lee. Patrick Wright, the actor, played the role of Spanner, one of the bad guys. You may remember him from way back in season 1 in Luke's Love Story, where he played the role of Moss, and he's right. I went back, looked at, I remember him now. All in all, this was a very good episode in my opinion. We get to see a fresh look on the General, many good driving scenes, and a good storyline. I give it a solid 9. Very nice. I'm giving this one a 10. This was a monumental episode for me. I remember every bit of it. But Cooter's line, that makes it a 10. How about you? What do you got?
Oh, it's an easy 9. I love this episode, man. So much good footage of cars. Yeah, loved it. Anything that centers on the General Lee is good with me.
Yeah, me too. Okay, well, I think that wraps this one up. Tell me about your 68 Charger. What do you have in mind for that car next year? Do you have any specific plans for that car?
I don't know if I'll get to it, but I would like to build a new drive shaft tunnel so it doesn't rub anymore. And I would like to build an oval tubing exhaust so that I can lower the car back down, because it's not as low as it was when we filmed Roadkill. We filmed that episode. The car constantly drug the exhaust on the ground and the drive shaft hit the floor. So David Newburn's been driving around a bit and he's lifted the car back up so it looks kind of lame. Other than that, cruise it. Maybe rebuild the rear end if it gets any worse. It's pretty noisy right now.
I can imagine. How many mods are you or are you not willing to make suspension or brake wise? Because I know it's kind of a period correct race car right now.
It is. Yeah, I'd like to keep it that way. I definitely want to keep the 8-lug wheels. I'd like to put a steering box in it before I answer that question, because it doesn't drive good, but it handles okay. If we can get the play out of the steering, which is just downright deadly, and give it an alignment, I may not change anything after that. But if those things don't correct the ill handling, then yeah, we're going to have to start addressing.
Does it stop okay?
It doesn't stop great, but it stops all right. It's a mishmash of Ford truck parts, giving it 4-wheel drum brakes, big ones. But they don't stop particularly well. You use all that pedal to get the thing stopped. It's not a car you can just let a stranger get into, or somebody who's not used to driving crap cars.
I'm going to send you a text here. And I know you have BFGs on it now. What's your opinion of this?
Ooh, that's a good-looking tire.
Okay. If
that's the perfect tire for this car. And it's got some tread, so you could probably drive it in the rain a little bit.
Yeah. This is a Goodyear Blue Streak. So back in the 60s and 70s, you would see Hoosier tires run, but this is a Goodyear bias ply racing tire built for those big old wheels. And you have vintage wheels that are built for a bias ply tire with a tube.
Yep.
So that is a tire I would love to see run on that car.
You have actually found the right tire.
Ah, thanks. I have some events I'd love to drive that car in if it were not a death trap.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have a death wish, friend. Have at it.
There's some things we could do. I don't want to make changes that you're not wanting to make. When it comes to steering, I mean, I got a factory steering, but I did talk to David Newbern a little bit. I can get you the manual box out of the old K member that I used to have that has since been replaced by your K member. But
I think we were going to use it as a core.
And that's all you'd want to use it for. I mean, it's like 8 million turns lock to lock, and it's sloppy too. I think I'm just learning Mopars are just like driving a ship. Like they're just not tight steering wise. So you need a good steering box in there. Do you have a pump and the pulleys? Would you like to make it power?
I need to look through my parts. I think Bo Shears might have brought me that stuff because it was on the motor I bought from his buddy. So yeah, I think I do have a pump and pulleys, maybe. I'm not sure though.
If you don't, there's the Flaming River makes a quick ratio manual box that would be great for that car too. It really kind of all comes down to what you do or don't want to do. Otherwise,
I'd be fine with it having power steering. I mean, that car's a disaster around town, and if you have to back up or U-turn or and I haven't had it around a racetrack, and it would probably be great if you're autocrossing it to have power steering.
I would think so. So that's one of the things I would like to do with it next year. We can chat about that off the air. I have some ideas I'd love to float by you, and might be neat to do. All right. Cool. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll talk to you next time. And in the Patreon episode, which is coming up last week of this month. All right?
Enjoy your dry-ass turkey, people.
Hey there, this is Rob. Up next are all the clips I pulled from this episode of The Dukes. And I like this episode so much that when I went back after Mike and I got done recording to pull these clips, I couldn't help myself. I pulled 27 clips. 27! That's bad broadcasting. When you can't use discretion to tell a story in just a few clips, you're not supposed to be doing something right, but I don't care because I love this episode and we're not putting this thing over the radio anyway, so have at it. This is a lot. I mean, it might take you like 15 minutes to get to the next clip. So hope you enjoy. Please go to harrys.com/KAFS. Do get yourself a nice shave set for Christmas. Man, I tell you one thing, when you guys support us in the ads, they buy more. And we already have an offer for next year, in fact. So that would be really cool if we could put it all together. Appreciate you guys listening. Talk to you next time. Oh, and happy Thanksgiving.
Friends, if you're wondering why the Duke boys are in such an all-fired hurry when they ain't being chased by nothing, and it ain't Saturday night, so they're not chasing women, well, they're hot to qualify for Boss Hogg's first annual Hazzard Dragonfly Contest. That's Dragonfly Contest. Which means all you gotta do to qualify, besides being a little bit crazy, is sprint like a jackrabbit in your car, fly like an eagle in your car, and land reasonably upright in your car.
Don't tell us you bought that turbocharged bomb and hired us as drivers to beat that kind of competition.
Yeah, boss, don't tell us. I bought that turbocharged bomb and hired you as drivers to beat that kind of competition. Yeah. See over there, looky.
A couple of locals in the beat-up heap. Me and Spanner will take them in first gear.
Yeah, boss, no problem.
Wrong. Because you don't know anything about the General Lee. I'll tell you one thing, that General Lee's about half human.
That's right. Yeah. And each of them Duke boys was born with a silver gas pedal in his mouth. So you just watch and learn something. Yeah.
There ain't no way you're going to win with that General Lee going.
Yeah. All right, boys, just go over and warm up my car, will you? Do us some good, huh?
Yeah, just get on. Boss, with the General Lee jumping like that, there ain't no way you're going to win this Dragonfly.
Oh, ye of little faith. Listen, I aim to win. Them drivers I hired are NASCAR drivers.
NASCAR?
Yeah, though recently disbarred. So I'm going to win, and I'm going to make a profit.
Well, that don't make no sense. How you going to make a profit when you're the one providing the prize money?
Prize money?
Yeah.
That's chicken feed. Yeah, compared to what the owner of the winning car,
namely you,
namely me, can make by endorsing products.
If you can only get rid of the General Lee.
If only I can get rid of the General Lee.
Uncle Jesse, Daisy, Rosco, y'all, any of y'all got your ears on?
I read you loud and clear, Bo.
When we hit the ground, something happened to the drive shaft on the General Lee and it slipped out and hit Luke in the head. Y'all, I think he's pretty bad. You better call an ambulance, okay?
We're on our way.
Breaker, breaker, breaker. This is J.D. Hawk calling Bo Duke. As the sponsor of this here event, I want to make sure that your cousin Luke is okay now so that you Dukes can't sue me later. So, you hightail that boy right over to the hospital, and then you have them send the whole bill direct to me. Over and out.
You mean to tell me you're actually going to pay his hospital bill?
Yeah, sure am.
Why is that?
All right, I'll tell you. I got me an idea that just might make Luke Duke withdraw the General Lee from the Dragonfly all by himself.
Luke Duke ain't going to do that while he's in his right mind.
Not while he is in his right mind. That's why I'm calling in the professor.
Just want to test your reflexes. Now you just watch this watch. Left, right, left, right. Your eyes are getting tired. The lids are getting heavier and heavier. You're sleepy. You want to rest and sleep. Sleep. Luke? He's all yours.
You mean that's all it took to hypnotize him?
That's all it took.
All right, Professor. Now, what happens next?
Oh, just the basic post-hypnotic suggestion. Everything we tell him now, he'll remember. Just when you want him to.
Oh, yeah, good. But we better hurry and tell him, because we might just get spotted by one of them real doctors, or his family might show up.
Well, it's all yours.
Yeah. With the prices you're charging me, he better be. Say, boy, what's your name?
Luke Duke.
And what's the name of your car?
Car is General Lee.
It's always breaking down, ain't it? Kind of, it's old and ready for the junk heap.
Junk heap?
Yeah, so the next time that it breaks down, you're gonna get rid of General Lee. No matter who tries to stop you.
No matter who tries to stop me.
You're gonna get rid of General Lee.
Gonna get rid of General Lee.
All right. That do it?
That does it.
All right.
Well, except for one more thing. Luke, you will not remember me nor anything that happened in this room. And you will stay in your post-hypnotic state until you hear a sound like...
Well, don't get too excited, Cletus. I think it was just luck the General's not feeling too good today.
I ain't so sure it was just luck. I think it was plain bound to happen. General's over the hill. He's ready for the junk heap. He sure ain't worth fixing no more.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about getting rid of the General Lee just as soon as we can.
Buzzers on a buzzsaw. Get rid of the General Lee. Why wouldn't be no fun around Hazzard at all without him?
Luke, you out of your mind or something?
Just because I'm willing to admit the General Lee ain't worth keeping no more?
You can't get rid of this car. I mean, this car's chock full of memories.
Everybody in Hazzard knows this car's held together with spit and baling wire.
Well, look, that's no reason to get rid of him. We can just fix him.
Bo, can't you see it? This car's history. Now, either you're too stupid or too stubborn to admit it.
I got a good mind to show you how stupid and stubborn I am right here and now.
No, just hold it right there. Now, listen, I'm going to call Cooter, and he's going to come out here and give you all a tow. I think you've been in the sun a little too long.
Luke, I wish you would stop griping about the General, leastwise until we figure out what's wrong with him.
Everything's wrong with him.
Not everything. Ain't nothing wrong with them parts I let y'all have on credit. That's top-of-the-line stuff there.
Well, there's the point, Cooter. There ain't hardly an original part left in him, and it still don't help. He's just too old to move.
On behalf of General Lee, I resent that.
Next thing you'll be saying is I'm too old to move.
Oh, he didn't mean like that, Uncle Jesse. Luke's just a little put out.
Well, Cooter, you don't have to be making excuses for me. It ain't nothing personal, Uncle Jesse. I just don't want to be owning his car another day.
Well, Luke, it seems to me that I should have something to say about that, doesn't it? I mean, the General Lee is half mine, ain't it?
Well, that's beside the point. It's time to admit the General's over the hill. He ought to be replaced.
No way, Luke.
Well, then one of us ought to buy out the other one.
Well, all right then.
Oh, come on, you guys. Who's gonna buy out who? Corn was $1 a ton, y'all couldn't afford grits.
Well, then we ought to settle it like we did when we was kids. The winner gets the pink slip.
All right, cousin, you got yourself a deal on that one.
Now, you two just hold it right there. I'm going to count to 3. And if you ain't settled your differences by the time I snap my fingers, I'm going to take one of these straps to you. Now, what's it going to be?
Dead center twice in a row. You think you can do that little trick of yours again? It's worth a try. That settles it. Getting rid of the General Lee just as soon as we can get him running good enough to get him to a used car lot. Come on, Cooter, give me a hand. Uncle Jesse, I tried. Can't hardly hold the road with any speed at all. Steering wheel's got more play in it than Boss's suspenders. No telling what else is wrong with his car. I can tell you. It's the driver.
There, now, what do you think of this little red beauty?
It looks kind of yellow to me, Hobie.
Yeah, well, through my eyes, they all look red.
Yeah, she's a beauty, all right. Pity, though, Luke, we can't afford it.
Well, it's only $1,500. And I will give you $300 for General Lee.
No, sorry. Looks like we're just going to have to keep going driving the General. Now, hold on a second, Bo. Now, I won the right to do the negotiating. Remember? Yeah. Hobie, how about $800 for the General?
Eight? Well, I've got to drink this something. You got yourself a deal.
You know something? What? That hypnotizing worked.
It did?
Yeah. Luke Duke just got rid of General Lee to Hobie Hawkins. Oh. And I just bought him off of Hobie.
You didn't.
I did.
You did?
That's what I said.
Oh, good shit. You know what we can do? We can repaint the General Lee, and then we can put it in the Dragonfly. And isn't that a brilliant idea, right?
Wrong. I ain't gonna use it.
You ain't.
I'm gonna demolish that trunk of car. And get it out of my life once and for all.
Oh, good job.
Now that's what I call a brilliant idea.
Now, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like somebody's about to shoot my dog. Wouldn't you just know it? Fortunately, old Cooter was heading that way on a call.
Hang on, General, I'm a-coming.
Boy, right to the edge. Now, that's true love between one good old boy and one good old car.
Yes, sirree, Bob, I'll tell you right now, if I'd have got there 5 seconds later, old General wouldn't be nothing but a big reddish-orange blob at the bottom of Rainbow Canyon.
It wouldn't make no difference anyways. He ain't worth nothing.
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that. The point is, General Lee didn't get there by his lonesome. Somebody had to push him.
And who'd want to do a mean thing like that?
Oh, somebody who doesn't want us to drive him in the Dragonfly, that's who.
The only competition we got there would be Boss Hogg.
Why didn't we think of that?
Well, things has changed, though. You two ain't driving the General in the Dragonfly.
Well, Boss Hogg don't necessarily know that. Listen, y'all, the important thing is we got to keep whoever it is from trying to hurt the General Lee again.
Which ain't gonna be easy, because whoever it is ain't likely to stop now.
We'll just hide the General in the barn.
Oh, Daisy, the General ain't ours to hide no more.
Yeah, the only right thing to do would be take him back to the person we sold him to in the first place.
Hobie? Luke, you're out of your mind. Hobie might be neck deep in this thing, too.
The only thing Hobie's neck deep in is a shine bottle.
Truth of the matter is the law, and us Dukes got to obey it no matter what might happen to the general there.
They're all okay, but you can bet they'll be right back on our tail after they quit arguing each other. And when they don't catch us, they're going to stake out the farm. Well, that suits me fine, as long as they keep off our tail to 4 o'clock. What's so special about 4 o'clock? You got a heavy date? 4 o'clock just happens to be the deadline for the Hazzard dragonfly, that's all. Just want to make sure we beat Boss at his own game, even if we do have to use this car.
Well, they laid low at one of Jesse's old abandoned still sites. Of course, Jesse knew they'd be there.
Well, that's a real fine kettle of catfish you got us into this time.
Oh, don't look at me. We wouldn't be in this whole dang mess if Luke wasn't stupid enough to give up the general like he did.
It was time. He was ready to fall apart anyway.
Oh, so you wanted to make sure of that by selling him, is that right?
I didn't want nothing bad to happen to him. Figured the worst was belonging to us. And he'd spend the rest of his days in peace.
I don't understand you. One minute you're saying that General Lee's ready for the old soldiers' home, and then the next minute, just like that, you're worried about what's going to happen to him.
What was that?
Well, I was saying that General...
there was some kind of noise. What was you saying?
I was just wondering how you could consider the General Lee an old friend, and then the very next minute, just like that, you're bad-mouthing him.
Now, hold on a second. Anybody who says I've been bad-mouthing the general ought to have his ears examined.
Look, I ain't believing this. You sound a lot like somebody who just got out of a bad dream and don't remember a thing that's been happening.
Remember what?
Now, Bo, it ain't important whether he remembers it or not. The important thing is he don't feel that way no more.
What way?
Now, here's what we got to do. We got to make sure that nobody tries to total out to General Lee again.
Total of General Lee?
And the only way we can do that is to buy him back.
Well, who sold him?
Luke, wait a minute. Uncle Jesse, we ain't got no money.
While you two was running from the law, I sold 3 cords of wood to Zach Whitley. Then I got a good loan on the tractor. And with the mortgage payment, we ought to have about enough to make ourselves a deed.
Uncle Jesse, I really appreciate it, but we can't let you do that for us.
Well, I ain't doing it for you. I'm doing it for the General Lee. Old-timers like him and me has got to stick together, especially when young whippersnappers that ain't dry behind the ears yet think we're ready for the bone pile. Now get going.
All right, the general's almost back in our family again.
We can make that dragonfly, right?
You bet we can.
I got a better idea. Just to make sure nothing goes wrong this time, I want you boys to handle it.
You forgetting something, boss? We're supposed to be competing in the dragonfly this afternoon.
That's right, boss. So you boys got plenty of time to get yourselves hold of some explosives, drive that General Lee to the gravel pits, and then blow it up.
When the boys showed up, old Hobie was still boiling about the shine that old Boss had double-crossed him out of. And he figured the best way to get revenge was to spill the beans.
Where's the general?
Boss bought it.
That's the last person I'd want owning general.
Yeah, well, he won't be for long. He's got 2 men out there headed for the gravel pit right now with enough explosives in that car to blow it higher than I am.
Where you got that dynamite?
You're too late, Sodbuster. The fuse is lit.
Look!
What would you do if that thing blew up in your hand?
I wouldn't be standing here realizing what a fool I was, that's for sure. What time is it?
It's about 10 minutes before the deadline for that jump and fly. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's get going.
You sure you want to take the general?
After all the trouble we've been through to get it back, it wouldn't make much sense to use anything else.
Yeah, you're right.
Y'all realize that after the day they've had, they're now fixing to run a race? Now, General Lee was snaking through some of the longest shortcuts in Hazzard County.
Boy, he handles great.
It's good to hear you say that again.
Rosco, he done it. He got the best time and distance boost.
Well, now, don't be too sure about that, J.D. This here derby ain't over yet.
Yeah, well, it will be in just less than a minute. Ain't nobody gonna cheat me out of them advertising pictures now.
You sure of that, boss?
Hey, look at there. They took 1 whole second off of Roscoe's time. Dang!
They beat us distance, too. That means we beat you twice in the same race, Boss.
Afternoon. You know, it's going to take a pretty penny to put this thing back in shape. Yeah, so we figured maybe we'd help you out of your financial jam by buying back the General Lee from you.
What? What? After them product endorsements you done me out of, nothing in this whole wide world to make me sell that car back to you. No time, no how, no way.
Rosco, ain't there some sort of fine for transporting explosives in an unauthorized vehicle like the General Lee?
Are you kidding? Of course there is, $1,000 fine. But that wasn't what the boss was doing.
No.
Well, then what was he doing with all them explosives on the front seat of the General?
Well, that was to blow it up for the insurance.
But what?
Boss, you know what you should have done? You should have hypnotized me instead of Luke.
Hold on a second now. What's all this talk about hypnotizing?
Nothing.
Rosco, one more word out of you, and I'm going to have that big fat tongue of yours bronzed.
You ain't gonna have to do that, J.D. Things is beginning to clear up.
Luke, I'm awful sorry. I should have known it was some kind of scheme of Boss Hogg's that made you want to sell a General. Yeah. It's probably against the law to hypnotize a person against his will, too, ain't it? So unless you decide to sell a General back to us, I think we're gonna...
But what are you dukes got to pay for it?
Boss, why don't you keep your prize money and give the boys back their car?
All right. You win. Here's the big...
All right.
And you, on second thought, I ain't gonna have your tongue bronzed. I'm gonna bronze your whole head.
And that's how hypnotizing Luke backfired on the boss. One thing about Hazzard County, a body's never over the hill as long as it's still got the fighting spirit, whether it's a man or a car.
You